He's
That's
like,
what's up.
he's like, oh.
Oh.
So Sachio and Joe, they're at the top of like this little hill. She gives them the ID, and then she's like, "Yeah, Yuri had his gear removed for you." And then we have like this frame of like Joe just having the most like euphoric nut, and then
That's the intro.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Now you got me started.
Oh.
Oh.
Are we ready to talk? Or are we live? Whoa, dude. Disgusting.
you're welcome, dude.
Dude, who the hell
Come on.
burps on stream?
Fucking Josh.
Yeah, I know, right? Who would do
let's,
that?
let's blame the towel. It looks like it just burped.
Yeah, shout out to the towel though. Are we
fucking hanging in there.
we good to go?
Why the fuck does Monkey Man just have one eye looking at me?
So
What?
It's like, oh, I see you, bitch. I see you.
there's no escape.
I see you.
Who's Monkey Man?
Yuri, dude. Every time they
Probably
do the zoom up
whoever
on
he
his face,
has
he looks like
in
a
the
fucking
background of the
gorilla.
stream right
It's just
now.
like,
Dude, I just
Oh.
can't. I can't take Yuri serious whenever he's mean mugging. Like, dude, it is not scary.
no.
It is not scary at all. It's just fucking comical.
Yeah, he looks like a freaking like ape.
Yeah, he's got the sideburns, pretty much like a half chin strap,
Mhm.
and he's got the longest helmet hair. And I'm like, dude, no shot. Fucking 2 layers of skinhead ass.
Head ass.
Well, that's interesting. But you know what else is interesting? Actually talking about the 7 episodes of Megalobox that we watched
On this episode.
of
Yeah,
this
it was
episode
7, dude.
podcast. Jesus Christ, we're already at
Is it-
34. I'm gonna be dead in like a month.
Is this our biggest like content episode we've done yet?
No, we watched Cromartie. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, Cromartie
shut
had-
up, dude.
It was 8 of like half the length though. These were like full length shows.
But Cromartie
over
is
half
the
of the
deepest
season.
show with the biggest character lore.
Bro,
Yeah.
dude,
It's not about the length, it's about how you use it. All right, come on.
Yeah.
You could have gave me 3 seconds to describe Cromartie, and I'd be like, shit, let's move on.
What are the other 2 things? You only said 1.
I said 3
you
seconds.
The other
I
2
said 3
seconds to turn off the anime.
Yeah, 3 seconds to turn off the anime.
But how about we get started? Where did we leave off with the Megalobox? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't exactly remember where we left off on the last one. I know we had the 5 fights that we needed for Joe to get up, get up in ranking, get his name out there, and kind of assert his dominance as the gearless fighter, right? And there's only 1 spot left. They announced the 3rd place guy, which is the lion dude, and then we got the PP scorpion or PP spider, and then we got the Yuri double skin, and then we got the
apparently
4th
the
place.
gorilla.
So then, yeah, we got gorilla. So I think Joe already had his 5 fights at this point, and he's like ranked 17 or some shit. But he's got to go just a bit more to get to the fucking 4th place spot.
There was 3 fighters left. There was Joe, there was the main girl's brother, and then there was some random dude that we don't really.
Yeah, his name's like Sugar Man or some shit.
Yeah.
So like the brother it was like rank 4. So I mean, whatever. He was fighting Sugar Man at the beginning of episode 7. Like that's right how it starts. These 2 dudes are fighting. They tried to explain it a bit later. Like there's this whole lore and like conspiracy shit going on that we find out in like the last half of the season, where like Shirato group, like I mean, we kind of knew that they had it rigged, like they wanted Yuri to win, but it was a lot more complicated than that. I think they were trying to rig this fight so the brother would win.
No,
right?
No,
Because
the other way around.
they're trying to do the opposite.
The president of Shirato Group is this fighter's sister, and So I didn't know if she didn't want. She wanted him to lose. I think there was 2 reasons for him. She wanted him to lose because she didn't want him to have like the ability to take control of Shirato Group, and if he won this tournament, he would like have popularity and stuff. And 2, I think she wanted to protect him from Yuri because I think she thought he would get hurt
Yeah.
if he fought Yuri.
Yeah, I think both of those contributed to
So
it.
Maybe we can just talk about like the whole like scheme of the brother and like how it got to this point, like why he is fighting so hard to try and be number
Yeah,
one.
definitely these
Well, she-
next couple of episodes definitely go deep with this brother, and they're pretty much centered directly with him and his conflict with his sister. So
well, I actually have an issue with this whole like. Okay, so this dude's ranked 4, or wait, was Sugar ranked? Was he ranked
7.
4? He was 7, and the brother was 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so why the hell does her brother have to fight a bunch of fights to prove himself when rank 1, 2, and 3 just get placed in the tournament?
Yeah, that's what I don't understand either.
If that's their qualification to do the top 4 ranked boxers, why wouldn't they do the top 4 ranked boxers? Why do they do 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one we're gonna let up till some gearless guy can take it out of some complete bullshit?
I assumed that it was to like leave a little room for somebody from like lower down to work their way in or whatever, and like maybe that's how the sister designed it, again, since she didn't want her brother to be in the match. Maybe she designed it to be that way, that it was like, we're gonna leave the 4th spot open, who knows who will get in.
Yeah.
I just assumed the other 2 fighters that got in the was the tournament called Megalovania? Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah.
And so it begins.
Megalonia.
So for the Sands thing, I figured they just did their fights beforehand, or maybe they were told before, like it was actually announced. They're like, "Oh, there's already proven themselves." It's a bullshit like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because when they announced the tournament, they announced Yuri and Pepe as 1 and 2, and then like halfway through the quals, they announced Burgess or Burrows or whatever his name is as 3.
Burger the
Burgers?
lion.
Burger.
Yeah, Burger's the
King.
lion.
He's god-blooded American.
So why the
Mhm.
hell did they not just say, okay, we're gonna do the top 4 fighters?
Yeah.
Mitch, you're trying to
I
bring
don't know.
logic into a boxing anime.
Dude, I have a lot of gripes with logic in this show. Let me tell you, when we get to this next upcoming fight, I got some issues, man.
Yeah. So the gist of it is, brother wins. I mean, we were talking about like his plan, right?
Does brother have a name?
Yes, but
I
don't
think.
remember it.
Yeah, I think I wrote it down here.
So I'm just gonna jump out before you even say his name. I'm just gonna start calling him Mugman, which will make sense later down the road.
Makio. Close.
Sure.
Makio?
So
Makio,
Mugman.
Mugman. Yep.
Why Mugman?
You'll find out later.
Yeah, because
I watched the show. I don't know how much later I can fucking wait to find out.
like,
No.
the last 4 episodes, all he does is stand there and hold a mug and like
Hold the
really close
mug?
to his mouth.
No,
He's
no,
like,
no. I'll
Here's
explain it
the
further
way.
later. That's not
Like that right
correct,
there,
Mitch.
yeah.
That's fake news.
You're fake
Whatever.
news. Shut up.
Whatever.
But well, didn't it start with like Mugman was challenging Joe to a contest to like, hey, I could take my place in the whole competition, but I have one last person I want to fight to prove myself against, and that's you, Gearless Joe. Come at me, you little dumb, stupid,
come here, you little
gearless
shit.
bitch, little gearless, dumb, stupid bitch.
No, the way it
Yeah,
actually
like that.
worked out was that while this fight was happening, you had Nanbu and Sachio watching it from outside, and they're shooting the shit, and then the president walks past, and then Nanbu's like, "Yeah, it'd be a real shame if this dude just made it. This is the 4th spot, even though he's ranked number 4. I mean, everyone really loves Joe, and you're not kind of giving him a shot. People are gonna hate that. That would really suck for you." And she's like, "What'd you say?" and then she's like, "Oh, he's gonna need some gear, fucking gearless bitch." And then she just walks away. And what ended up really happening
They're
was
not
that
real fighters if they're not
Yeah.
using gears.
they want everyone to approve of it. It's like this big public event. So they were gonna make it. They were gonna force the brother to fight Joe anyways. I'm not sure how, but then the brother's like, "Bitch, I'm big brain. I'm just gonna call him out myself." And so that's what he did because he got
Bro,
the sibling rivalry. He's like, "You're not gonna tell me what to do."
that threat from the president, I thought that threat would actually mean something. Where she's like, he's gearless, he can't fight in the tournament. So I thought they were gonna make him wear gear. Nah, because the fucking final fight, obviously, it's like that threat meant fucking nothing.
She just didn't
What
give
we
a shit
call
anymore at that
foreshadowing.
point. Yeah.
That's not foreshadowing. That's an empty threat. That's a false promise. It's not foreshadowing.
I was talking about what you
Yeah.
said.
And that's not even foreshadowing. That's just a straight up spoiler.
But we prevent saying spoilers by saying
What the fuck do you
foreshadowing.
mean? There's
We do
no
it all the time.
spoilers in this because we're talking
We do this all
about
the
the damn
time.
show.
No,
Yeah,
Spoilers.
all the time.
Joe wins.
no.
If you
They
haven't
could
watched
just
it already,
we could
fucking
just decide
leave.
to end it right now. You know,
No, we
Just
need the views.
Close the press the X right now. Escape while you can. You're only 10
Yeah,
minutes in.
leave in the sense of muting it and changing tabs.
And then
Continue
reload.
to give us views,
Reload
but
the
go
browser
watch
a
it and then
couple
come back.
times.
I guess all you really need to know about the backstory, I think, with the brother is that their grandfather gave the sister
Didn't focus.
the business. I tried, man. I tried.
I just
once.
saw myself
Go on,
blurring
Josh.
out, and
Travis
it was
just
like
fucking shitting on you
I'm
for no
trying.
reason.
Yeah, I'm trying here.
It was just funny because Travis is looking at the camera. He's just like, he points at it. I was like, "What are you doing, guy?"
It helped it focus. It focused.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, John. Yes, you were.
What we
right.
clapping?
Thank you. Granddaddy gave
Guys,
her
the
the
towel's trying to
business.
talk.
Oh,
The boy is upset. The boy wants his AI gear to be the superior option, but she's like, nah, it's all the integration shit that's on Yuri. So the reason that he's so passionate about being in Megalovania is he wants to prove that his gear is better than Yuri's gear, and then he wants to like take over the business and be
Yeah.
the head honcho.
This is
and
all formed
whatnot.
of.
But she not only A, doesn't want to lose to him, but also B, she's like worried that he's like too greedy or just power hungry and just a shit human. So she's like, oh, I can't let the business fall into his hands because he would do terrible things with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Even
is
though
the
I think
lore.
by the end, I feel like that kind of swaps, and he seems like the good wholesome dude, and she's
She just has a hard on for Yuri.
Yeah, this is the lore. This is how everyone's connected. You got, the grandfather picked the sister, and the brother is pissed off because she's the favorite child. Okay, it is what it is. They were working on developing the gear.
You just keep
They were
going.
working on They were working on developing the gear, and then they had two candidates for like the top gear. We got the integrated skin, and we got like the AI tech. And integrated skin, Yuri has, AI tech, the brother has, and then for some reason they stopped. They stopped doing the AI one, and they moved forward with the integrated tech. But the engineer that made that was Sachio's dad. So once they got far enough in development, they just offed his dad.
Stole the tech, killed
Stole the thing, kept going, and then Sachio's mom died a year later because she was sick. So then Sachio's alone, and now the brother's stuck with his other gear. He's like, "Well, you didn't pick me. You didn't pick this gear. I'm gonna fuck this gear, and we're gonna come to the top." And then so he perfected it himself. Maybe didn't perfect it. I don't know. It's like this whole thing where like a certain percentage output from how it controls him. I don't know exactly how that worked. Like he was trying to get to 100%, or
Yeah,
I don't know.
he couldn't maintain 100% sync. It would hurt. Like it was too draining or something. I don't know. All I know is there was
So,
a lot
like,
of like.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
Like
sounds like,
the-
they're having a
the-
really big family dispute.
the gear was oh god, I'm so fucking distracted right now, dude.
Yeah, I don't.
Why?
I mean, if it wouldn't like fuck up all the orientation on Trav's stream, I would just click disable video to turn him off and make him stop the bit. But I can't do that right now.
That's a dumb bit.
What bit? This is who I am now. When we're talking about this fucking
Change my
family
mind.
shit.
I changed my mind.
Stupid.
Yeah, the gear pretty much moves his body for him. He doesn't
Yeah.
really have control or like conscious control over his movements. It's all reflexive. And so he gets shit on by it because he's like, people are telling him he's not really boxing. He's not like mindfully like throwing punches or blocking shit. The AI learns from the other guy's movements, fights for him, and it's not really like they're making the point that it's not really him boxing, it's just the tech, so he's not good.
Isn't that the same thing with Yuri's tech too? Because when Yuri fought Joe in the first time in the underground, didn't
Yeah.
Yuri's tech come up and block a
Yeah,
punch?
doesn't that thing have AI in it?
It's like instinctively, yeah.
Well, I don't know
I
what
don't know.
Yuri's fucking gear does. It's like a second layer of skin.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
Maybe
I
just
don't know.
better reaction time or whatever.
It's just aesthetic. It's just fucking on
I'm
that
sure they
skin.
explained it, but we just didn't pay enough attention for it.
I was waiting for this shit, and no explanation came across.
I was waiting for Trav's bit to be done. I'm glad that it's done.
What bit?
Exactly.
All right, are we moving on from this family shit?
Yeah, so like I thought this episode was pretty cool too because they also showed the hype around the whole city for Joe. Like we got this gearless fighter, like he's the underdog, he's gonna make it to the top, he's gonna enter Megalovania. You got like I don't know, everyone was just fanboying over him. There was
There was
rapping
that
and all
one
that shit. It was
chick
just really
who
cool.
there was a one
Oh,
chick
yeah,
who had
in
a
the slums.
tattoo of her, and I was like, if you have your face tattooed on some girl's thigh, I think you know you've made it. That's the fucking like for sure. I'm a superstar.
Yeah. So yeah, dude calls out Joe. Joe's like chained at home because he's recovering from his last fight, I guess. And eventually something happens, and then they're about to fight. Like I guess they train a little bit. I don't remember exactly what happens, but um, the fight time comes. You got Team Nowhere about to enter the ring, and then lo and behold, we got Fuckboy just chilling in the tunnel.
Yeah,
He's like, "Where
Mugman's
you
just
going?"
like, hey, you really thought we would have a fair competition? I looked up on your past. Turns out you're a junk dog. So he threatens to reveal the truth about who Joe is and his whole backstory and stuff. And Joe was gonna still go out to the ring, but then Handlebar Mustache just punched him in the gut. And of course, out of all punches in the entire show, that's the one that knocks Joe out.
Yeah.
God forbid getting punched with mechanical arms in the face and
Repeat
pissing
the
blood for like
over
3
and
weeks.
over.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude should be
Yep.
dead, bro.
Yeah.
So Joe ends up
And it-
losing that fight by default, and Mugman is considered the winner of that bout. But then,
Yeah, did you guys think some bullshit was gonna happen where like he'd wake up before like the gates closed? Because they made it super suspenseful. Like the countdown, the gates were closing, and then the
I thought
shit
he was gonna
actually
like
closed.
dive through right as it was closing, and he was gonna be like cut off from the two of them, but then they wouldn't be able to stop him anymore, and he was just gonna go for it.
Yeah,
And-
I thought it was gonna happen, but I liked the subversion of expectations.
And by the end of the show, it kind of makes the stakes of this episode feel not so important because like by the end of it, I think you could say that pretty much everybody who's anybody knows that Joe isn't a real citizen by the end of the show. But like in this particular episode, it's like nothing could be worse than this. Everything is riding on this.
Again, it's another threat that is just falls flat and doesn't mean anything. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because Nambu goes to the sister and he's like, "Hey, listen, you need to let Joe fight because your brother knows some things that we can't let the public know." And instead of asking what it was, she's like, "Oh, okay, but too bad, I'm not gonna let him fight because fuck you." And they go to the announcement ceremony, and Joe just like, "I want to fight," and she's like, "Okay, you can fight," and rips the ticket in half. And I was like, "What is happening?"
Yeah, what was that? Oh,
So stupid.
Well, she changed her mind because I think Yuri told her that Joe is the real deal.
Yeah, he's a real fighter.
He's a real one. He's the real one, man. He's the one for me.
What the hell did they mean by the real article or whatever they were saying?
Like a natural?
He's like the real thing. Like he's the real deal.
Article mean?
I think it's just a translation thing. I don't know.
Probably. Yeah, and
Because
also
when
we
I-
find
Genuine
out,
article? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we
feel like
also
I've heard
find
that
out
said
that
before.
the
Mm.
he's a real
threat.
newspaper. This guy. He's a
Extra,
real magazine.
extra. Read all about it. Gearless Joe is a little crybaby bitch that, somehow still got another fight.
It makes no sense. Dude should be in jail. not fighting Megalobox. But
We also found out that the threat from Mugman has no weight to it because the I don't even know what, I forget his name, but like the bad
boss.
mob boss guy who is like hanging over
He's a chef.
Handlebar and Joe the whole time, the bone
Making
chef
soup.
guy, the fucking weird ass guy. He basically just says, "Yo, you played right into his fucking hand. He's got no hard proof on you. You didn't even like ask to see what proof he had that Joe is not a citizen. You just fell for it." And the name was like, "Ah, shit."
He's
I
like, damn,
should've-
I didn't
I
see it.
should've.
I didn't see it coming.
Well,
Yeah.
they explained
My
that
one good eye.
the only way they could tell that Joe's ID is fake is if they actually have it. And then they see that as like, oh my god, they'll never find out. It's like, why? What? Couldn't they?
Yeah.
The corporation just be like, hey, we need to see your ID.
Yeah.
You've come under some sort of speculation. We just want to verify.
Or you know, go to the cops and be like, hey, can you do a background check on this guy, please? And they'll
Yeah.
say that doesn't
No, they
exist.
need the physical ID.
Sure.
Anime. But like, even that really doesn't hold much weight because I'm pretty sure they can force Joe to give away his ID
Yeah. So they need his ID, right?
to tell if
And
it's a fake.
they decide to give it to a fucking child as for safekeeping.
Yeah, because they knew he
See how much
was
shit
gonna
he puts in that
band-aid
box,
a
dude?
flower to it,
Yeah, fuck.
and it
I mean,
looks innocent.
I love Sachio. He's my favorite character in the show. But like, why would you
Okay.
give the most? What do you mean?
Kids
Okay.
got bars.
What do you mean? Okay, Trav.
Kids got bars.
Okay,
Okay, what?
okay. I just acknowledged what you said with a
You were
verbal
like-
response.
You were like, okay.
Okay.
Well, my favorite character is Mugman.
He
My
doesn't.
favorite
he's-
character is the
he's not a
fucking dog.
character.
Huh? He's the best
He's not
character.
Mugman's not a character though. He's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Joe's
it's
cool, I
great.
guess now.
Yeah, I know. It's
My
great.
favorite-
He has
my
the
favorite character
best.
is
He has the best like anime arc I've ever seen in a character. It's crazy.
No, Sachio's the best character.
I mean, he
by far.
turns from being like a spoiled brat into being kind of more like a humble dude. And when he's like, I'm going back to my roots, and he's like living on his own, then he ends up helping Yuri. He kind of has a bit of a turnaround in a
No,
way.
gosh, that's
I wouldn't say it's
stupid.
massive, but it's something.
That's dumb.
My
No one
favorite
cares
char-
about
the
that
best
part of
character was the
him.
dog, bro. You see how many fucking people he almost fought, and everyone was too scared to fight him.
Like
He's
one.
fucking nah, dude.
He just didn't like Mugman.
I honestly didn't.
Exactly.
Whatever. Let's just continue because we're already we have yeah.
We
Yeah,
gotta keep her moving. We gotta get through 7 episodes.
Say it, bitch.
We just gotta keep going because we're not even past the second episode and we're already at 25 minutes.
Well, I
almost.
mean, a lot of shit happens in the second episode. They squeeze a lot of shit in there. Like, it's the fallout from the forfeit, like you guys said. You know, they go to Big Boss. He's like, yeah, you fucking fell for it. Then
That's
Nambu's
what else I
like,
wanted to say.
Chump.
Nambu is a fucking idiot.
yep.
Why would you bring a child into that situation? Why would he bring Sachio into that like mob boss situation? Like, what the fuck? Because then the mob boss is like, yeah, and if you fuck up, the kid dies too. Because now I know who the kid is. I'm like, you idiot! Why would you bring him there?
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
to be fair,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the mob boss would already know about Sachio because, like, he would.
Still,
He's obviously
Still.
watching the fight, so he would
Okay,
see the
so
kid at
he
the
knows about-
ringside.
he knows about Sachio, but why would you ever bring a child in that situation?
Because he has to convince the mob boss that they have a plan and they can try to find the weakness of Ace.
What is
Which
It
is-
actually worked out. It actually worked out though that Sachio did show up because they ended up interrogating the one dude who used to work for what's that thing called again? The big
Shirito.
company, Shirito. Yeah. They grabbed the dude who was doing underground fights. He used to work for the company. They interrogated him. They found out about the AI tech, and I think that's where we learned about Sachio's dad and like this whole thing.
Well, later.
And I think that Sachio tells that to Joe because
Yeah.
right after that point, Nambu goes straight to the president and he tries to like negotiate getting a rematch, and she's like, "Nah, I'm fucking locking you in here."
But
And then he gets stuck in there.
the way Sachio finds out about it is stupid. Because literally the guy's back is to the doors, and the mob boss and Nambu are facing the doors, and Sachio just peeks over and they don't see him. looking in
Yeah.
on it. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then the information Sachio finds out ends up meaning nothing again because the AI, he turned it off for the fight, or he made changes for the fight, so it's different.
Yeah.
It meant nothing.
That
Yeah.
was the whole thing. It was meant to give them hope, like you got this. Like you're his worst nightmare. Like you will be the perfect counter. And then the brother is a step ahead and he's like, yeah, I anticipated you not having gear. I developed this even more to be able to fight you.
So
Like
now
it was
I've
supposed to give
developed a
hope and then
gear
take it away.
that tracks enemy movements and not their gear.
It's like,
Mhm.
hello? You don't make people are in the fucking audience?
Yeah.
He stopped using
don't know how that technology
a
works.
UAV. He stopped using a UAV and he went straight to getting the Blackbird, so now he can just see everything going on.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Nambu gets locked in there. No one can stop the crowning of the fourth entrance to Megalovania, except Joe getting pissed off, zooming his ass back over, crashes his bike again, getting like he's talking shit. He's like, "Yo, I'm the genuine article, bro. I'm the fucking real. Come read me, bitch." And she's like,
So you really wanted
know-
to end like this?
Yes. Leave. Credits.
he's like, you still got that business card? She's like, oh yeah, here. Fucking gives each one half of them. He's like, the fight is back on. He's like, yes. Oh fuck, my bike's destroyed again.
Gotta
walk
my
home.
bike back.
I don't care if you don't trust me. Give me half of this card.
Mhm.
Yes.
So dumb.
Also,
Yeah.
have you seen my ID? I have no idea where the fuck I put it.
Hopefully some little child is holding on to it for me and putting a bandage on it with a flower.
Or knows they won't lose it.
Yeah. Or it won't fall out of their hat, even though they would have felt it on top of their head.
Yeah.
So dumb, dude.
Alas.
And now we get to
Alright.
the fucking fight. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
this next
Again.
episode it just opens straight with the fight between Maki Roll and Joe.
Mugman and Joe.
Aren't they already like in round 4 or something when the episode opens?
Yeah. It's already been
Something like
started.
that, I guess. I don't know.
Dude,
Mhm.
this fight.
It's all you, Mitch. I know this is your favorite fight of the show, so go for it.
This fight, I was like, Joe should have lost like 6 times. Dude gets his ass knocked down, and he's laying there for like, on screen, he's laying there for like 30 seconds while people are talking and doing stuff. He gets his ass punched over the top rope, and he falls on the back of his head and just laying there. And it's like, dude, that's a ring out. You're done. You're out. You lost.
Oh.
Mitch,
like,
it's Megalobox.
It's not though.
It's not boxing.
It's so
It's
dumb. I
different.
hated this fight. And the entire
Don't you
time,
love
No,
how
they
he won,
the,
though?
once
He
Joe
won by
fell out
not-
of the ring, they paused the timer. They're like,
Get it back in there, Joe. Come on, get back on. Sachio, don't touch him.
Don't touch him.
Don't you
Yes.
touch him. He's all sweaty and he stinks. Let him get
Well,
up
I
on
gotta
his
give
own.
him- I gotta give him the flower.
I hate Joe's fights because it's that stereotypical, oh, the protagonist is going to get his ass beat until you think he's going to lose, and he's going to throw one punch and he's going to win. Excuse me?
No,
Yeah.
dude, he couldn't even lift his arms. Don't you remember?
So dumb, dude. It's like,
Well, that
Oh,
was
I'm getting-
Joe's thing. He figured out that if he doesn't raise his arms up or puts his guard up, the AI in Mugman's gear, Ace, couldn't calculate whatever like moves they were gonna do and
that
couldn't
part was
counter them.
cool. I like the no guard part, but like what I'm saying is, for 6-7 rounds, Joe just gets his ass beat until randomly he's just like, you know what? I decide to end the fight now. Win. It's like, what?
Well, I mean,
Dumb, dude.
you should know that
Yeah.
one punch is enough to knock somebody out.
Then why doesn't Joe get knocked out when he gets punched by a mechanical arm over and over and over again?
Because he had his guard up.
Yeah, all right.
Fuck up.
He has more resolve
It's so
than
dumb,
Mugman.
dude. So stupid.
He can take punches.
You
A
see the
lot
scars
of
on his face and his
punches.
body? Come on.
Also, I know they're going for realism, but I could have gone without the fucking shoe squeaking.
Oh,
That was annoying.
did you not like the scene where
Let's-
Mugman dashed at Joe for like the final punch? And then Handlebar had to like guess, what his finisher was gonna be.
Yeah.
He's
And he gets fucking wrong.
yeah.
Yeah, he guessed wrong,
Well-
and Joe's like, I fucking knew it.
Well, I feel like everyone was just underestimating Mugman's like actual like fighting potential. He's actually a good fighter.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
they overestimate his gear. So
And then in this fight, and in the 2 fights from now, I was like, why the hell wouldn't the guy Joe's fighting just be a defensive fight? Because like obviously, if this was an actual boxing match, they would have enough points to win already. Like it wouldn't even be a contest in there, so they just fight defensively until either Joe gives up or the round ends. But I was like, that's why they have limitless rounds, because you
Yeah.
have to win by knockout.
can't win by judge.
Yeah, they exchange the punch. Joe's, I guess, lands harder than the other dudes, knocks him out,
And then
and
he went through
Joe
a
wins.
complete character change where he leaves the ring with his arm raised. He's like, "You see this arm? I'm gonna hold mugs in it the rest of the show."
Good guy now.
God bless. God bless
and then
him.
Yuri gets a hard on for Joe. He's like, he's the real newspaper.
He's the old
and we
natural.
should read his ass in the ring.
He is the perfect one.
Yeah, and they have a party. They have a party back home, back on their
And
yacht.
then they get the bad news with the mob guy where
Yeah.
You really thought I was just gonna allow you guys to go to Megalovania, but turns out the actual deal Handlebar made with the mob guy was he didn't originally agree for them to win Megalovania. They added an extra scene to their agreement showing that, oh, you'll make it there, but what does a scorpion normally do? You know? You could go deep further. What would make even more money? To throw the fight. So they went through all of this just to throw Joe's first fight at the contest.
You're hearing it too, right? Just making sure. Okay, yeah. So all the way back when, Joe, I guess still at that point he was Junk Dog or whatever. The very first time when he went against the throwing of the fights or whatever, the first time he disobeyed their orders, they made this deal that he was going to throw a fight in Megalovania. So it's been, I think that they said it was 3 months ago. So it's been 3 months that they've just been sitting and waiting on this and just not saying anything to Joe because obviously he would have nothing of it. But
They would have probably called it, honestly.
Pretty pissed.
Yeah. So they have another team split up.
Yeah. It's like a whole episode where everybody's just
They
pissy and
literally
upset, and they
go
all
from
their
like
separate ways.
one episode where like we're all team, we're a team. Every decision we make, we shit at the same time, we shower at the same time. All our decisions are on the same level of agreement.
When Joe
the next episode,
blood, we all piss blood.
Fucking Handlebar kicks a rock and hits Sachio's shoe. What the fuck, old man? You've gone too far this time. And then they fucking split up. And then before you know it, Handlebars comes back to the ringside holding the rock and it's just like, here you go. This was the rock. We're a team again, aren't we?
You're right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this rock under my hat.
We'll put it to his ID. Where's the fucking ID?
Yeah. I think that this next episode is when we get to see some fire bars from Sachio.
Dude,
I had to kind of like listen. I was listening to the dub because I had to kind of listen while I was working on stuff today.
I did watch the dub too for these episodes.
So that happened in the dub, and I was like, oh, this is a whole ass fucking thing they did. And so just out of curiosity, I turned on the sub to see if it was just going to be like the like American voice actor who did it in both versions, and maybe they would like subtitle it or something. No, it was the Japanese voice actor was doing the rap in Japanese. So I didn't even check out the other, I guess, like voice or like audio versions or whatever, but it fucking just going in on every single version.
Yeah,
I still understand that because Sachio was like, because he ran away from what? Did he run away from the fight or run away from the sister's house?
No, he ran away
from Hanbu.
No, he ran away from the arena because that's when he found out that Joe has to make the decision whether or not he's going to throw the fight or not. So then when he enters the arena against the Texan guy, he's wearing gear and he has the earpiece in. So that pretty much tells everyone involved that, all right, Joe's agreed to throw the fight. So Sachio runs away from that, tears in his eye. And I mean, we didn't even cover the fact that Sachio had the chance to kill the president lady.
Yeah, we
That
skipped
was
like a whole episode.
fucking wild.
Yeah.
I was like,
my
no,
God.
what the fuck are you doing to this child, man?
Because
He's like,
that
he hands
whole
him a
thing like inspires the whole rap sequence.
He hands him a knife. He's like, if you want to get your revenge, go get your revenge. I was like,
so
what?
Nombu's just like, I can't, like, we can't go together anymore. We're not a team anymore. But like, this is the only thing I can do for you now, is give you an opportunity to get revenge for your father and your family, pretty much. So hands the fucking kid a knife and was like, there's that woman right
The
there.
president lady. Yeah. And this is after Sachio stayed with the president lady, like at her house, because he like needed shelter for a little bit or whatever. It is before? Okay.
Yeah. I was about to say.
I was like,
Nambu's fucking wild, dude. Because Nambu, he hands the kid a knife, sees the kid contemplating murder, and then afterwards he's like, "Hey, you're gonna go stay at that woman's house." He's like, "Here, woman. Here's a child that just thought about murdering you for a couple minutes. Take care of him."
Yeah.
No, he was giving him a second chance.
He didn't do it, but he definitely contemplated it.
It's like, I don't understand why you give Sachio to the president when Sachio has the ID and the one person that can't find out about Joe's identity is the president. Like, why wouldn't you give Sachio to like the mechanic and keep him safe at the mechanic shop or something like that?
Because I think he felt that she was the only person who had the means to keep him safe, because he was now in danger of being killed. Like, I think Nambu, in the end, I think he already knew what the plan was. Like, he knew he was going to die. He was going to try to coach Joe to lose, but he knew Joe wasn't going to like throw the fight because he knew him better. And he pretty much had a death wish. So he didn't want to have Sachio with him the whole time. So he's like, here, you can have custody of this child. Don't look under his hat.
Yeah, don't look under his hat.
Don't look under his hat. Take care of him, please.
Well, I mean,
you owe him a debt.
Like, his entire plan just kind of is based on the fact that he's trusting Sachio not to lose the ID. And like, what's the safest place to keep it? You know, the mob boss can't get to Sachio there. He can obviously attack him at the mechanic's place, no problem. It's in the slums, no one gives a shit. But at the head lady's, mansion, yeah, they're not touching him. Nor are they getting their hands on the ID. If Sachio keeps it hidden, maybe puts it in his pocket, not in like a loose, like fucking accessory he wears on his head. But, anime. You got to make sure to put the flower on the ID.
So yeah,
and he was just testing Sachio too. He's like, hey, do you want to get revenge this way, or like what's your plan? Like, how much do you hate this bitch? And he's like, nah, my revenge comes with Joe's win.
But
and
then, so going back to like the Sachio rap scene, that kid can fucking run. Because dude runs from the arena to their practice ring, does a whole shadow box rap session, crying, like, yeah, and then he runs back to the arena.
You believe in me, and you're training and punching.
We're all just using Joe.
And then he runs fucking back to the arena before the fight ends. Like, dude, what the fuck? Kid's got some legs.
Little speedster, dude. Little speedster.
He's running enough at his age.
Kid's got some legs, dude.
Talk about disappointment. The most disappointing fight to me was the match between your first and your second place fighters in the world. In the world.
You already shit on him. No.
Beat the fuck out of him.
What'd you expect?
I expected a match to last longer than fucking 2 rounds.
It just shows the skill gap.
I'm sorry. This is a little spoilers, but Yuri.
See ya.
This is a little bit of spoilers, but Yuri is fucking head and shoulders better than Joe. Like, Joe is
obviously with the gear.
Without the gear too, man. Dude, Yuri just had life-threatening surgery 5 days before the fight. and he almost beats Joe. It's like Joe sucks compared to Yuri.
I don't think there was any way that Joe should have won that, though.
No, there's absolutely no way Joe should have won. But again, we'll get to that later.
And I think we kind of touched on it, but I'll admit that even in my recollection of this episode, I glossed over the fact that I guess there was when you talked about the guy running the underground shit being interrogated, I guess that there was some sort of a conspiracy that Sachio's dad got involved in. That's what got his dad killed. That's why he's upset at the president lady. And I guess that once he's taken in, Handlebar explains that conspiracy to the president lady. President lady says, I'll look into it and like investigate what's been going on. But that's just another, like you said, like another non-threat thing. Like it never seems like
she was trying to figure out who got involved in it and who was affected by it to give them accommodations.
It wasn't a conspiracy.
But I'm saying that
straight up that her brother stole Sachio's dad's tech and then got rid of him.
I thought it was the integrated gear.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't
developed.
It was Ace.
This is what I'm saying is it was also like
it had something to do with the grandfather, I think.
Way, but I don't actually understand it.
Makio took Ace because they stopped moving forward with it. Sachio's dad made the integrated gear successful and they gave up on Ace. So then Makio took it and he further developed it himself.
Well, it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess they were just.
It was complicated.
It's true.
And like maybe there was some like actual like sinister stuff behind it. Maybe there wasn't. But basically, at a certain point, it just stopped being a problem. It basically seemed like it had been addressed, and then the show just kind of went on. And it's like this is kind of interesting to have some kind of I guess sinister stories happening in the background. But at the end of the day, I'm here to see the fights that Joe is in. And everything else is just kind of like distracting me from what the fuck is going to happen in the fight.
Yeah, I hope some of these things become of use in the second season because there's a whole second season. I don't know anything about it, but hopefully we see some more of this explanations or actually them doing something with all this info because it's kind of just like out there and nothing's done with it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, what's next? The Texan fight with Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
yeah, with
hands down, my favorite scene in this show. Hands down, so Joe has to take the fall in like round 3 or some shit. So
that's the plan. Anyway.
He's going easy on the Texan guy, and he's missing punches on purpose, and he falls in the 3rd round, and then he hears Sachio and Yuri like telling him like, "Stop it. Get up. Are you all right? Get up, please. Get up, please.
You're better than this.
And
Use
so
the
then,
power of friendship to get up."
So then, Handlebar, for the first time, actually tells him to get up, and that's what motivates Joe to stand up. And this entire time, like, Nobu's just been trying to like hype himself up to stop being the scorpion that the mob boss keeps calling him that. And dude, and you had like the fucking awesome music that's playing in the background.
Yeah, the music lines up really well.
And like the gears like falling off of Joe, and he rises back up as he's no longer the junk dog. He's Joe. He stands up and he takes out the earpiece. He's like, "I'm gonna rock your shit, bitch."
And then he just punches him.
Yeah, what did you guys think when he walked out with the gear?
I was like, okay.
Because I remember, Mitch, I think I remember you saying you're going to be pissed off if he just goes the whole thing without the gear. And he actually walked in with the gear. So, I mean, up to that point, that was the first time.
It pissed me off that he decided the one fight he was trying to lose, he was going to use gear. Like, why did he need to use gear the one fight he was trying to lose?
Just to make
damage.
It very clear, to make it very clear to everybody that he didn't give a shit about this fight.
But then the really badass cool moment happens. Joe literally gets the gear beat off of him. Like throughout the fight, it falls off and crumples and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then once the gear comes off, he's like, you know what? I want to win the fight now. Knocks out Burgess in like one hit.
Let's go.
So what?
Yeah, solid punch.
Dumb.
That's like his super move though. He has like a fucking strong ass punch, doesn't he?
I'm sure Burroughs has a strong ass punch too, and I'm sure
No,
Burroughs can take a
no,
punch.
we were never shown that. Fake. No, but he wore the
Jeez.
gear pretty much to make sure he lasts to round 3 because he's probably going to be getting bodied. So he let the
Man.
gear take the damage. That's why
I
like
don't
half of
know.
it fell off.
Dude, he made it to Megalovania. Like, why would he even consider going with it? Like, why?
Well,
With
He
throwing
knew
the
that
fight
if he knew, throwing the fight. If he
to
knew he was
save
gonna
Namu's
win.
life
and
And the
Sachio's
kid.
life.
and
Yeah.
Sachio's life, yeah, that's why he thought about it.
Yeah.
How would he stay in their life if they're like the way to make Sachio happy and the way to like get a better
Because
life was to
Joe's
like,
options
saying-
were
just
if
saying.
he
Throw
froze
fight, if
they'd
he doesn't throw
die.
the fight, the mob boss is gonna kill Nambu.
And
Well, Joe
Joe
didn't know
No,
that.
and Joe
Yeah,
and Nambu
yeah,
and
Joe
Sachio.
definitely.
All
Joe
3 of them
definitely-
were gonna fucking die to the mob boss. He made that
definitely
abundantly
knew that.
clear.
Mhm.
I forgot that Joe knew that.
Yeah, I think like after that whole party scene and when Joe first found out about having to throw it and the mob boss was there, I think it was abundantly clear that like if you don't do this, it's
yeah.
not going to be a good time.
Even if
And
Joe
that's why
did,
that's why they put Sachio into fucking witness protection program at the president lady's house.
But then
Even if
they were
Joe-
like,
ran to the
we're
ranch.
scared.
even if Joe didn't know 100% that Nambu would die, like it's deductive reasoning. A mob boss is telling you to throw the fight. If you don't throw the fight, something bad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
Nambu goes all fucking badass. He's like, you know what? I don't give a shit. Here, take my other eye.
This
motherfuckers."
isn't a bluff anymore. We're the real deal. The real ones. Shout out to the title, by the way. Roll
The
credits.
real
Roll
article.
credits.
And at first I was like, really? That's all he uses is an eye. But then the mob boss made a good point. He's like, he cares so much about Joe and he wants to watch Joe be so successful that he's willing to give up his eyes for this. It's if he's willing to give up his eyes that he can't watch it.
Yeah.
And he means
That
it.
just shows how determined he is to protect them.
That was dope. I was like,
He was
Nabu's
like,
character.
he was just like bleeding, like blood everywhere, and then he's just like, if that's not enough, I'll rip out my own goddamn heart and give it to you. And I was like, damn, Nambu, he turned into a full-on father figure.
His character arc
Yeah.
finally rounded itself.
Yeah,
Like-
so
like when
Nambu's
the-
definitely
those-
he went from being kind of definitely a sleaze bag to just
Yeah.
very
Well, like-
caring
You gotta
father
love
figure to Sachio
his,
and Joe.
when he takes off his hat. You gotta love the little
Bald spot.
boom.
fucking fucking
The
derpy
dip,
ass
the
like
dip.
yeah, dude.
He wears he wears his
Great.
headphones too
Little
long.
tuft.
I,
Yeah, he's got the Cromartie characters fucking tuft on there.
I mean, I said in round 1, it's obvious where Nambu's character arc is going to go. He's that sleazebag with the heart of gold that's going to end up being a good guy.
Yeah, no, you called it, dog.
So
Yeah.
and now we get to the
now we cut to the biggest character change, the biggest arc, Mugman, who moves into a random ass cabin, and you know what the first thing we see of him is? Holding the fucking mug, dog. Hell yeah.
bro. Can someone explain to me how? So when Yuri goes there, first of all, I did not know who this character was, who
Me
Mugman
too.
was, because
Me too.
when we first see the Mugman interact with Yuri and the dog is like, I want to kill you, and then this time the dog's like, what's up, bro, and walked past him.
Yeah, he's no
I had
longer a stranger.
no idea who this guy was. He wasn't wearing his gamer glasses. I was like, what's going on? And then they talk about the house, and Mugman's like, yeah, I found this abandoned place, and I finally got it back up. And then in the basement, there's just a fully functioning surgery room with fully functioning surgery equipment and everything. I'm like, what? Why is this in the basement of an abandoned house?
The only reason that Yuri was able to go there is because he blew up against the president, against his owner. He's like, you can't have my body no more. And then so she's like, well, I'm gonna call off the fight. He's like, bitch, fucking bet. And he just walks off. And then now he's kind of like on his own. He's like, bitch,
Yeah.
fucking bet.
Bitch, fucking bet. Bet.
Because his whole inspiration is he wants to fight Joe without the gear, and he wants it to be an even fight again because real recognizes real, yada yada yada. He wants to do it
Real
without
steel.
the gear.
Hugh
And so-
Jackman.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get this shit removed, and that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm not asking you. I'm just telling you. I'm never coming back. Bye.
That's the
Dude
whole
has-
meme.
Dude has life-threatening surgery. literally can't even sit because it hurts him too bad. He's screaming,
He's on
pounding at
fire.
the door and everything, and then he
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, after
Like,
like
bro.
the 5th day, he's up doing the whole.
He trains the night before while Joe trains like all those days that he was having.
The only scenes you see of Joe is him pissing blood.
And then the fucking the president's like goes down and sees Yuri and like he's glittering in the moonlight and she has a flashback to the first time she sees him and sparkles are coming off his punches and she's like, I'm so wet.
And she was probably like 14 and he was like 26 or some shit.
And then you had Mugman upstairs going like, I too am
Yes.
wet at the same time. Yo, they just slept on the couch and then Mugman just slept on the chair. Like
With
that,
his mug.
No,
he still had the fucking
grandpa
mug
was
in his
there.
hand while sleeping. He was like, back to it.
Dude, the grandpa was there in the wheelchair. He's like, oh.
In the flashback.
Oh, no, yeah. He's like, oh,
He did come
This
back
is
to
my
life.
granddaddy.
I'm wet too. I don't know if it's because I shit myself or what.
This is my
I
granddaughter.
have a premonition.
So yeah, she
Oh,
sees
and then did you guys? Sorry, I know this is kind of off topic, but did you notice when they were having the party after he beat Mugman, there was that dude who was like, "My daughter would make the perfect bride." Oh, how old is she? Oh, she's still in the oven. Like, my wife is still pregnant with her. She'll make the perfect bride. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, my guy? Holy shit. The age requirement keeps getting lower and lower.
Why don't you take a seat? What are you doing here? How old is this person you're coming to visit? 18.
Play the fucking Dateline theme.
You want to try that again?
Oh my god.
Yeah,
So sorry. Yeah. Okay.
How about you
noticed that though,
try
right?
5 months?
Okay. Good.
I actually really liked how Joe trained. I don't know about you guys. I liked being able to see Aragaki and his trainer come back and actually do something.
Yeah. So
Because talk about
Butterfly
that
comes
is
back to
what
train with Joe, so he's not just punching a punching bag, you know?
I think that's what we left off on right before these episodes started, right? Like the shark guy was before Aragaki, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I know we were trying to figure out where we left off at or whatever. I think that's the last thing that happened before this set of episodes
Mhm.
of this episode.
Of this episode.
Yeah.
Of this episode.
Oh.
Then Nambu just becomes this like boxing prodigy where he's like, I could tell you.
Yeah.
that
No, he's just
by
like,
the sound of your feet.
He's like, you're not shitting enough. You gotta better with your right foot.
and then
like,
Joe's
you
just
mean like
standing
this?
there like, fuck, I keep pissing blood, dude. I keep fucking pissing blood.
Yeah, you should probably go get that checked out, Joe. You might die.
Nope.
Oh yeah. Before, like on the last fight, when Sachio was ringside, he dropped the ID, and then I think the president ended up grabbing it. So now the president at this point has the ID, the fake one.
Well, and then
Yeah.
she gives it back to Joe, and he's like, well, what are you going to do? Nothing. I'm just returning it. Because she knows how much
Yuri wants
Yuri and Yuri's fight with Joe means to him. So that's why.
Yeah. So then when she goes to their base, Nanbu's just watching the whole thing, right? He's watching it from the boat.
Fucking through his blindfold, yeah.
Yep. So he's
With his
hearing.
fucking aviators.
He can feel them at the top.
No, he's like touching the ground. This like,
Oh,
this
Yeah,
bitch.
He's
That's
like,
what's up.
he's like, oh.
Oh.
So Sachio and Joe, they're at the top of like the little hill. She gives them the ID, and then she's like, "Yeah, Yuri had his gear removed for you." And then we have like this frame of like Joe just having the most like euphoric nut, and then
That's the intro. Right there. We found it. Somebody get the timestamp. Get the timestamp.
and I think there's a freestyle after
54
that.
minutes, 54 minutes.
Yes.
Okay,
Another one.
That was my favorite rap. There was 3 raps. This last one was the best. That last one gave me goosebumps. I was like, I'm getting hyped for this fight, and the
Yeah,
fight
It's
happened.
the stray dog
I
versus the merciless beast in the ring.
well, I guess
Oh,
all
I didn't
that's
look at it,
all that's left to
so-
really talk about is the final episode, right? Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah,
Like,
now it's the final
well, the
fight.
final fight
This
then leads to the
episode.
last episode, but like I remember my first like watch through of the show. I remember being
Playthrough.
very
Playthrough.
disappointed by the fight.
I was too, man. Yuri got first of all, Yuri got robbed. By the way, Yuri's the real champ.
Yep.
Joe's a little bitch.
I'm
I
sorry.
just remember from my first playthrough, walkthrough, let's play, what have you. I just remember
What's up,
they didn't
guys? Let me save
show
heroes here.
that many like fight scenes with it. I remember they just cut through it really quick. I don't know why I had that in my mind, but I was completely wrong. I enjoyed this fight second time through a lot.
I didn't.
Interesting.
Yes.
I
13
don't
rounds
remember.
of Joe getting his ass beat.
That's crazy. 13 rounds though.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Dude, I have so
Landing minimal punches, and like
many
at one point
problems.
they showed him being tired, but I feel like that's less of him being hurt by Joe and just being exhausted from beating the shit out of Joe.
Yeah, the brother says that. The brother's like, he can't, because
Can't sit down.
the announcers were like, oh, look at his stamina. He won't even take a seat. And the brother's like, no, if he takes a seat, he's so hurt from the surgery, he won't be able to stand back.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, Joe should have one hit quitted him round one. Like, it's an embarrassment to Joe that he lasted 13 rounds with a dude that had life-threatening surgery 5 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Yuri is so much better than Joe.
Yeah.
Joe is like does
Why don't
not
you join this
deserve.
fam club?
I did not like Yuri until the final fight. I was like, okay, Yuri.
No, what?
Yuri
He's not going to fight again.
Yeah,
And
because
again, like
I
the
don't
idea
understand
that
why. The ending does not make sense to me in this.
it doesn't make
shit.
sense. It doesn't make any sense, and it pisses me off that they just cut from the ending.
Yeah. And the idea that Joe could last that long with him not having gear on and somehow have actually survived fighting him with the gear earlier in the show,
No
it's like
sense.
you'd be fucking dead. You wouldn't just be like okay for a couple rounds. You'd probably be fucking dead instantly.
Well, yeah, the first fight didn't even last. It lasted like 2 rounds, didn't it?
Yeah, so
His
he
last
still
fight
made it
lasted
into
a
a second
while.
round.
It's just it makes no sense. Yuri is so much better than Joe, and it's not even funny.
Nope, he was weak.
Yeah, and he still almost beat him.
Yes.
Yeah, but almost isn't a win.
And then Yuri has no one in his corner, so Sachio has to go help him. Like,
yeah, Sachio's the fucking water boy. That's his fucking that's his role for this
like,
final fight.
Yuri is so much better in this final fight than Joe. Like, Joe did nothing. Joe got his ass beat for 13 rounds, and then they did a double punch, and then it cut to black. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Joe sucks.
Well, they were keeping it very, ambiguous. They wanted to keep you on the edge of your seat.
Until they just told you who won when they visited the mechanic. Joe was like, "Oh yeah, I won. That's right. We all won together."
Yeah, it was like this weird thing because it wasn't even like, hey, it's the next day. It was like 1 year later. We find out, okay,
Yuri's
Joe
in a
won.
wheelchair.
But then Yuri's in the wheelchair. I don't know why. Joe won, but then you hear like these ads. Okay, there's gonna be another Megalovania, fucking round 2, and the champion position is just open. And so I don't know what that means. So Joe is not. He's not the recognized champ.
No, he just isn't showing up.
So at first, when they said that, I thought the fight ended in a draw, and
me too.
But that must mean that Joe like gave the title back because I don't want to be champion anymore. So now
I always assumed he just didn't want to fight again because he peaks with Yui or fucking.
That's what I'm saying. He gave the title back.
Hey, Yui fucks. But Yuri, I thought he packed. I lost my train of thought.
I know he's now in a wheelchair on the beach talking with Sachio. No hat.
Yeah, where the fuck's Sachio's hat go?
He's like, man, this hat can't freaking hold this metal ID with a band-aid and a flower on it.
I need an upgrade. So maybe he bought like an actual like photo frame.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed with this final fight.
Yeah.
I thought it was good. I thought it was,
and
and then
and
they did
obviously
like
we
the whole
got
like
the-
Sasuke and Naruto thing, like Yuri, Joe.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
they did that whole
It's-
shit, dude. They played the awesome theme, dude. It's the
I
best
know.
part.
The
And
fight
really
was
good
cool.
music, man.
The fight was cool, right? But the fight made me root for Yuri over Joe, which that should never. That's twice in this episode, or not this episode.
Of
in
this
the show.
episode,
That's twice. That's twice in the show where they have made me root for the antagonist over against our protagonist.
Yeah.
I was rooting for Aragaki when he fought Joe, and I was rooting for Yuri at the time when he.
well,
And also somehow
Well, that's-
Aragaki
it sounds like
in
a
a
you
wheelchair,
problem.
Yuri in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. Like I did
Yeah.
not want Joe to win because Joe
Dude.
did not deserve to win.
Dude,
He's
Joe just has that
trained.
killer punch. That's his super move. Remember? You remember he showed he
Dude,
could do this,
Not, dude.
Yeah.
and then that was like
not-
his super punch.
footwork is
Like I punched so
insane.
hard it stopped focusing my camera. You know,
Dude,
even works IRL.
Not-
Jesus.
Nanbu taught him how to dance, and they
Yeah.
danced.
And
That
the
was
He's got
dance.
really good footwork, man.
To
And then he danced so good that 1 year later, Joe danced again in the desert by himself.
in the desert, and there was like a
One-
5 to 10 second just still frame with Joe's face while the carnival music was playing.
Mhm.
Yeah, the waltz.
What is-
It's
I
a
was like,
waltz.
Dude, I was like, what is happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then also something we didn't mention, completely random. The president tries to sell the military the integrated gear.
That was really random.
It's kinda-
I don't understand.
And then they're
Well,
like,
it just
"Hey, you can
shows
have
what her
weapons, right?"
motivation-
She's like, "No, it's not a weapon, but it is. But it isn't, but it is though. But it's
Well,
not."
Well, they were just like that. It just shows what her motivation with promoting Yuri was. They wanted to
Yeah,
move.
And it's
They wanted to keep upgrading the gear, and the only way they could really do that is with like military like operations and stuff, and really push the limits of their gear. And she took
that's-
offense that, well, why don't we just attach them to our weapons? It's like, no, they're made for arms, for boxing, for
yeah.
that's
for
stupid.
humans,
Don't
integration.
be stupid, military guys.
But that's why
Stop
I'm
it.
saying that she's like hypocritical by the end, because
She's a
she's saying
himbo.
that the reason she doesn't want her brother to run it is because he was like just like greedy and selfish, and he had all the wrong ideals and whatnot and everything. And then by the end of it, the brother is the one who took the fucking like pill of humility,
He took
living
the
in the
mug
cabin.
life.
And and now she's like trying to sell off her shit to the military and like work with them to continue
It's not about like
advancing the gear and
it's
stuff.
not
and I'm
about the
like,
money for her. It's about the legacy of like what her family is going to build with the gear. It's not about the money to her.
About the money, Spider-Man. It's
About the Mets, baby.
Of
The Mets,
All
baby.
right,
Love,
baby,
love
let's
the
go.
Mets.
Get
Get
a
a
home
home
run,
run,
baby.
baby.
Go
Get the
Mets.
Mets, baby. Thank you, Josh.
I got you. It's sorry, it worked so perfectly.
About the Mets, baby. But no, it's about the legacy. Legacy that they leave behind about the family. Get a home run. Throw that
Family.
grenade in there. Burn them.
Yeah, that happened. Who gives a shit? Yeah, the big thing is that she announced Megalovania 2 without having a champion, without us knowing really anything, and so it's like, okay, well, we needed that for season 2, I guess.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know who's gonna win Megalovania season 2?
Sachio.
Nambu's
He's just gonna rap the whole time. No
Nambu-
fighting.
You know what? I don't give a shit. Put me in there.
No, dude, Joe's son is
I'll
gonna
do it
win.
myself.
All right, fine. I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that season 2 will be more than literally just building up to Megalovania 2, because I don't know. I mean, this was obviously a fun ride.
Well, Joe has a
season 1, but
beard.
if we
it's
basically
gonna be
just copy
darker.
paste it into season 2 and we just get the same show again, they gotta do something to
Yeah.
fucking make it interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do, but they gotta do something.
They gave him a beard.
I'm interested to see
It's
where
different.
they go with it. Sure.
It's different. He has a beard. He's older.
I didn't even see a beard.
I thought that was his son.
Huh?
Huh?
On who?
I think the protagonist is going to be Lady President.
Okay.
I think she's going to win.
She's gonna put on the
Yeah?
gear herself. Fine.
She's gonna-
I'll
Fuck,
do
dude,
it
I'll do it
myself.
myself.
No, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that if this is spoilers, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure there's a time jump between season 1 and 2. Because
Okay.
Wait, time
Like,
passes?
like a big time jump. Because last time we did this, this fucking, I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say. Last time we
Podcast?
talked this anime, I looked up Sachio's name, and the first picture I got of Sachio was him older and him boxing. So I think he'll be the protagonist.
Wow, I really wanted to know that.
Why you fucking dick, dude?
So I'm saying
I
we
didn't
better
wanna know
get
that.
we better get him rapping on or like in the ring or I quit.
Yeah, what about with every bar, he takes a step, so he has to rap the entire time
Gotta fight
to
the power, gotta be the
move around.
man, gotta throw some punches, that's the plan. See, I already got it. This is
My-
writing itself.
My dad's dead. My new dad's blind. My best friend has a beard better than mine, Sachio. And I'm blurry.
We're so full of creativity on this show, ladies and gentlemen. It's fantastic.
But I guess we should. I mean, Megalobox, I think is a decent it's definitely like a generic underdog story, but I mean, music's good. I think it's animated pretty solidly. Characters are either hit or miss, but ultimately I enjoyed the ride for season 1, so I'm excited to see what season 2 does.
It was good. It's just the hype for the fights was not delivered.
I wish they did hype up the last fight a little bit more, but fuck Spider, fuck the Texan guy. Who really gives a shit about them? They're not the main focus.
And they did the same thing as they did with Monkman, where it's like we started the fight and it was already like round 2 or 3, and I'm like, I kind of get it, especially since it went for 13 rounds. But I'm like, what's the point?
I kind of like seeing
them
taunting each other
at the beginning
start.
and then do the jumping and stuff. Why do you throw us in the middle of the fight? I don't understand it.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Start at round 1 and then talk shit at the start and then cut to round 4 if you want.
Exactly.
Then there's no issues.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, seems
do we
like
want to
that's
do a season
predictions.
recap, our thoughts on season 1, or do we just want to wait until we're done with season 2 and do a whole retrospective?
Yeah, we'll do it at the end of season 2. But I feel like that's everything we wanted to say about season 1.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it sounds like we are all good with season 1 of Megalobox, and that should be the end of the podcast for this week. So whoever hung out, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate it. Hopefully Josh can figure out his own rap song for the next time we talk about Megalobox. But
I'm gonna do it to this. I'm gonna do it to that.
For now, we're gonna be rolling the outro. So see ya.
On the next episode of this episode, Trav, Josh, Mitch, and Yusuf discuss episodes 5 through 12 of Love After World Domination. If you made it this far, make our relationship official by dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and ringing that bell to turn on notifications so you won't miss it when new episodes go live. And if you want to go the extra mile for our love, follow us on Spotify at This Episode Podcast. Or you can watch us live every Monday night at twitch.tv/DutchRead. Thanks for watching. Now let's cut this ultimate candy cake monster baby.